everyone, I'm with the Bart Ehrman team. My name is Robyn Walsh. I'm a scholar of New Testament and early Christianity, and I'm actually about to run off to class. But I thought I would make a video about something that will probably come up in lecture today, which is which passages from the canonical Gospels were maybe not original to the canonical Gospels as best we can tell, or maybe were added later. I think one really interesting example is the passage or the scene of Jesus and the woman found in adultery. I might call it sometimes the adulterous woman passage. That passage is really beloved in a lot of ways, I think, for two primary reasons. One is we're all fairly familiar with it, not necessarily because everyone reads the Gospels, but if you've ever seen a TV show or a movie involving Jesus, usually that scene comes up. And it also usually comes up, and here's the second point, in association with Mary Magdalene. However, there's something you should know. That passage and some of our earliest papyri of the Gospel of John isn't there. In fact, it floats around in the Gospel of Luke at some point. It seems to have been added later. The Greek is a little bit different from both Luke and from John, but John as a gospel is a little disjointed. We could talk more about that in another lecture. It actually seems to be a little bit out of order, and there are some amusing theories in scholarship about how that may have come to be. But because the vignettes in John are already a little bit disjointed, it was easy to take a passage, again, maybe it was historical and just added later because someone learned about it, or maybe someone invented it. Either way, it was added to John because it was a little bit less awkward to put it into that particular gospel. And we'll try to put an image up here of a piece of papyri from the Gospel of John where that passage is absent. But that association with Mary Magdalene, let me go back to that for a second. Because that passage eventually makes its way into John, and so you have the adulterous woman, but Mary Magdalene is mentioned within close proximity to that story in John. There was a Pope Gregory in the 6th century, who did an Easter sermon where he suggested that Mary Magdalene was that sinful woman. If you go back to those passages, that's actually not what the text necessarily says. But sort of like this being a beloved scene for various reasons, this association between Mary Magdalene as sort of the redeemed sinner or the sinful woman who makes a turn to, a more respectable life, I guess you might say. But because that passage was so beloved for various reasons, whether it was because Mary, as a formerly sinful person who sees the error of her ways reputedly, or because of this idea of redemption that comes across in making that association, that became so beloved that it has stuck in our imaginations. So I think there's a lot for us to consider with that particular passage about not only what's going on historically with the text, but also about ourselves. So I would say that's my favorite example. Now, if you're interested in this topic, Bart Ehrman is going to be giving a talk on February 20th called Lost in Translation, where he'll be discussing how we get our translation from the Greek to English with certain biblical texts. In this case, Christian texts. He may also talk about the Hebrew Bible, but check out his talk. You can find it on bartehrman.com, bartehrman.com/BSA Learning. BSA stands for Biblical Studies Academy. There you can see a number of other courses and talks by leading experts and scholars in the field. You can sign up for a 14-day free trial. You can even sign up after February 20th and you still have access to Bart's lecture. So whether you're a newbie in New Testament studies or the study of the Bible, or somebody who's sort of a seasoned veteran and you're looking for an outlet to hold discussions, to talk to other professionals and other interested parties, please sign up. Again, that's bartehrman.com/BSA Learning. Hope to see you there. And again, check out Bart's lecture, February 20th, on Lost in Translation and the making of the English Bible. Thank you.